Preeya, that biryani was outstanding, I must say. But I'm going to pare it back a little bit and I'm going to do something really simple. Instead of using all the spices you've used, I'm going to use fresh herbs. So we use two different things to get that aromatic flavour. Now, to start with, I'm making a risotto primavera, a nice simple risotto that my nonna used to make for me.
Ooh.
So I'm ripping out one of the old recipes from the family. Now, the most important thing is you start with a stock, and normally I would make my own chicken stock and simmer it away, but most people nowadays are using bought stocks, so, I mean, that's fine to use.
Yeah.
The only little tip that I'd give you if you are using a bought stock is have a little taste of it. You know, put it in a pot because we want to bring it up to the boil. That's going to help the risotto cook nice and quickly. But have a taste of the stock when you've got it, and that will help you put the right amount of salt in it.
That's a good idea, actually.
That tastes nice and it's seasoned up beautifully. I will add a little bit of salt to the rice, but I know where I stand from the start. It's always good to taste it from the beginning. Now, to get things going, I have a pot here with extra virgin olive oil in it, and I've already taken the time to sweat off onion and garlic in olive oil. Plenty of olive oil. And I've cut it nice and fine. If you have a look at it, it's beautifully sweated off. It's nice and gentle and soft, and you've got that lovely flavour to that. And you're already into picking the time. Perfect? Time for my
Perfect time to do it. Look at the puns. She might be better than Richo.
This is going to be a very long...
It's a challenge on many fronts.
Very long series, I can tell you that. Now, into the pot here, this is going to be fun. So you've got the thyme there and you've got some sage. If you can pick that, just pick it roughly. You don't have to chop it at all because this is going to go through the whole dish and make it really flavoursome. Bay leaves, stolen from my neighbour's front yard. Thanks, Bob, for these. In they go. Now, the bay leaves go in there, and I love using bay leaves. I throw them in at the start. It's all about layering up the flavours when you're cooking risotto or cooking rice. Now, I have a Borio rice, which is the rice we use to make risotto. It's a fat, chunky little rice. And the idea of this rice is it soaks up all that liquid and still holds its firmness. Now, we're going to measure the rice in, and this is how my nonna would measure the rice. She would hold her hand over the top of the pot here like this, and she would have about a handful per person.
OK.
You can see it spilling over. Well, I ate a lot of rice, so she would always put in a little bit.
When Richo was coming round, am I right?
Exactly. So I'm going to put about 4 handfuls in there, which is enough for 4 or 5 people, or me when I was little, that was enough for me. Now, the trick with the rice is once you've got it in the pot, I'll turn that up. You want to seal the rice. You want to sweat it off, coat it in the oil, coat it in the flavour so that the rice picks up all of that flavour. I stir it round for about a minute or so on a fairly high heat to get that rice cooking and get the heat into the rice. And you can see that the rice is already coated in all the oil.
Yes.
And we've got lots of flavour in there. And at this stage here, we can pick that up, which is the sage and the thyme. That goes in here. As I said before, Preeya, it's about layering up those flavours. And already we've got a good start.
Yeah, good.
Now, the spoon is in here and I'll just add some white wine. I love white wine and it adds so much flavour, a bit of acidity to it. Now, with your dish, you throw all the liquid in at once.
Yeah.
With a risotto, what we do is we add liquid slowly, so we stay with the pot the whole time, and we just keep adding liquid a little bit at a time until the rice gets to the right consistency. Now, this is the fun part. We grab some of the stock and add it to the pot, a couple of ladles at a time. And you can see that I've got my stock in a pot, can't you?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got it.
Hot.
So it's hot, so it keeps on the boil. And as you can tell, I've added the stock to the pot and it's still on the boil. Now, at this stage, you can turn it down a little bit, but you still want a decent boil. You still need it boiling so it will absorb the rice. You can see that simmering away beautifully. And as the rice is cooking, we'll keep on adding stock just till we get the right consistency. And while this is cooking, you're going to chop some herbs for me, some chives, some parsley. We'll pick some basil. And when this rice is just about ready, I'll show you how to bring it all together.
Perfect.
Preeya, have a look at that.
Wow.
It's coming out beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Now, what I like to look for is the texture of the rice. So I take a little spoon and have a little taste of that.
Oh.
It's lovely. At this stage here, you want to have a check of it, make sure it's the right consistency. A little bit of firmness, a little bit of al dente is what I like. And the other thing is, I like to have a little bit of liquid in there as well. all that stock, that flavour, everything's come together. So I like it a little bit sort of wet and creamy is what we're looking for. And we'll get that when we get all the cheese into it. Now, herbs. We need plenty of herbs go in there. Basil, chives,
Beautiful.
parsley, whatever you have in the garden.
Yes.
Yes, the
I'm getting
cheese goes in there.
excited. Put it in.
Parmesan cheese in there, plenty of
Beautiful.
Parmesan cheese, and of course, butter. We need to make it taste really, really good. And the cheese and the butter right at the end is what makes it even more luscious and delicious. And you want to put a fair bit of butter in there just to make it...
Do you need the butter? I'm asking genuinely.
For a friend?
For a friend.
Yes, you do need the
good
butter.
mate.
You do need the butter. The butter is what makes it taste really good. When you do add the butter and cheese, take it off the heat. You want to let the heat of the rice
Melt it.
melt the butter and the cheese, and it starts to come together. And to me, this is the best part. When I stir it around and that butter starts to melt and mix into the cheese, and you can see the colour of the herbs. Now I'm going to throw some more cheese into
More
there.
cheese.
We've got some bocconcini. I love this. You can tear these into little pieces and just drop them in. And
Wow.
it's going to be great. Now, the goat cheese over there is like the thing we put on the top because we crumble that over the top to make it even better. You could mix it through, but I like the gooiness of the bocconcini and the crumbly chalkiness of the goat's cheese to make it even more delicious.
Holy moly.
My nonna is smiling down upon me. She knows how good this is because she cooked the exact same thing.
Wow, look at the cheese, Richo. It does look beautiful. I'm just thinking for everyday midweek meal, maybe without the butter. I guess you could also sneak extra veggies in here. You could put frozen peas.
I know you're talking, I can hear something coming, but I'm just channeling...
It's already blocked me out.
I'm
That's
just
great.
channeling my nonna and a little bit of goat's cheese over the top, just a few little crumbles. And of course, we've got some Parmesan cheese to add some even more lusciousness. Your biryani was outstanding and one of the best biryanis I've ever tasted in my life. So I thought, to equal you, I need to come with my big guns. I need to
May I?
I need to put something on the plate that's going to blow you away. All that lovely butter, that rice, that stock, that cheese, those herbs.
It is beautiful. It is very rich. And I think I would probably have a small portion of it, maybe chuck some extra veggies in and leave the butter out. But seriously, that is Friday night risotto. Beautiful.
That's restaurant food. That's what it is. It is really, really over the top. It's rich, it's decadent, all the lovely things that we have as sometimes food. A little bite of the rice, nice and creamy, lots of cheese in there, herbs. It's a crack of a dish. But why would you just have it once a week? Maybe twice a week. Sure, we can come up to some compromise. What do you think?